Oh, there you are, YouTube. So I'm gonna work out today. I adjusted the seat this time. Last time I forgot, so it was on my wife's setting. But I have moved it up so I will actually have a full range of motion this time. I'm gonna try and go the full hour again. And also, bandana to catch the sweat so I'm not doing this the whole time like I was last time. But yeah, I think I'm gonna time lapse it again. I'm watching, I might flip around, but right now I plan on starting out with 4K WDW, which is 4K Walt Disney World is what it stands for. It's a YouTube channel, and just gives me an opportunity to bike along somewhere in Walt Disney World. I may go to the Animal Kingdom today. Who knows? Actually, maybe Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios at night. Oh, you need to watch that one. That one's good. I went really hard on that last minute. I put it at the highest tension I could, and then ran, pedaled, whatever, as fast as I could. So that's when I really started breathing. But I didn't end up watching 4K WDW. Instead, I watched a bunch of the Tim Tracker episodes. And I just caught myself sort of like listening to them and watching them like a show, to where I was losing my speed. Where when I was watching 4K Walt Disney World, that really wasn't a thing. I maintained my speed. So I might have to not watch stories if I want to maintain the same speed, because I sort of lose my biking concentration and put more of it on what I'm watching concentration. Where with, again, 4K Walt Disney World, I'm just kind of, like out in the world, out in nature, out at a theme park, biking, and my focus is on the biking, and it's more just atmosphere rather than story. So I don't know, I'll probably still go back and forth because, I like watching other things on YouTube as well. So, but just wanted to note, if you want to maintain speed, it may be easier to watch something that doesn't have like story or content, but rather just atmosphere, visuals, things like that. Okay, gotta rest and stop sweating before I shower. Take a break. Whoa, this is a terrible look. Parted down the middle. When you're balding, don't do that. When you're balding, I don't know. You don't have many options. Not many options. But, so we got some crayons out for the girls to play with. And actually, that's not a good example right there. Let me go over here and point out. So the crayons were out, had a giant pad of paper for them, and they were coloring, which was fine. But then, can you see? Look what happened. They've moved to the wall. It looks kind of nice though. My wife's outside. I'm curious to know what she's gonna think of it. We're artists. Maybe we'll, maybe we'll leave it. Maybe we'll take it down. I don't know. Luckily, that type of paint that is on the wall right there, and it's just standard Crayola crayons. It should be very easy to, should be very easy to wipe off. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but it's just kind of funny. We've had them coloring on giant pads of paper for a while, and today they've moved to the wall. First time. They're growing up. I think I had better put on my film hat for this one, because we're going to start talking Oscars, at least for a moment. So the Oscars made a few commitments today, some changes that they plan on doing for this upcoming awards. The first one being, I think it's, I'm actually not sure. I need to look into whether or not this starts this next ceremony or the following. I think it is the next ceremony, though, like this, when movies are coming out right now, the 2020 films. But one of the changes, they're going back to the guaranteed 10 Best Picture nominated films. So they did have that for a while, like when was it? 2008, I think is when they started doing that. 2009, somewhere around there. 2008. It was after Dark Knight did not get nominated. They made sort of a push for that, but then it got changed again to somewhere between 5 and 10, and it seemed like we were always getting like 9 nominations. Maybe there was a year where there were 7, I can't remember, but it seemed like it was always like 9. So it's like, why not just round it out to a nice 10? And it's sad that that didn't happen earlier, because we did lose out on a lot of great, most likely, nominated films that would have been in the 10 slot. Stuff like Bridesmaids, movies that you wouldn't necessarily genre-wise think to be in Best Picture area, like Wonder Woman. Man, I would have loved to have seen Wonder Woman been nominated for Best Picture. I think that would have been a great Best Picture nominee. I'm very bummed that that didn't happen. But anyway, so yeah, that is changing. They're also adding new voices, new members to the Board of Governors, trying to make it more diverse. They also have plans of doing that when it comes to their general inclusion standards. And I'm not fully sure what that means. It seems kind of vague right now. There might be more literature on it that I just haven't found. But it almost sounds like maybe certain films have to reach like a certain diversity quota, maybe, in order to be nominated. I could be wrong in that, because that would limit, indie films that have very small like crews and things like that. I'm not fully sure what that means, but it is nice to know that they are trying to create more inclusion, more diversity, just within the Oscars at large, which I think is maybe what it means more than anything, because it would be hard to dictate what movies can and can't do, especially for indie films, that just have very few people working on them, where the larger production companies can, pretty much pull whatever strings they need to pull because they can afford to. They also plan to create more streaming opportunities for members. Now, that doesn't necessarily change how movies are qualified for the Oscars. I know this year is going to be a little bit different because of the pandemic, where if you were scheduled to be released in theaters but couldn't because of the pandemic, but still scheduled to be released in 2020, and you didn't push your movie date back, then you can still qualify even if your debut is via streaming. Like an example of that would be like The Five Bloods, which actually just came out today on Netflix. It's a Spike Lee movie. It originally had a theatrical release planned for its debut in Los Angeles, so it would have qualified for I don't think that the first showing would have been in Los Angeles, but it would have shown in Los Angeles before moving to Netflix. So therefore, because they didn't push the date back or anything like that, it still qualifies for an Oscar, even though it probably won't be shown in a Los Angeles theater. But anyway, yeah, so now what this means, this new rule or opportunity that the Oscars have come up with, basically they're going to, it almost seems like they're creating a streaming service for Academy members that will screen Academy eligible and nominated films, so that members can have the easiest access possible to them, so they aren't having to rush to a theater, find it in a theater, go to these screenings and things like that. They can watch it from home, which I think is good. I still like the idea that movies have to premiere or debut in Los Angeles before they ever hit streaming. I think that's something they should keep. Obviously, special circumstances for the virus right now, but I hope they do go back to movies and need to be cinematic theatrical experience in order to qualify. But yeah, I think all that's pretty interesting. I think we'll find out more in the coming days, but just what I saw anyway was more of just a bullet pointed list. I'm sure they'll have more information on that later, but who knows? You know, I think that 10 going to 10 nominations again will create unique opportunities for unique movies to slide in, especially this year, because so many movies did push their release date to next year or the following year. You know, maybe I'm still got my fingers crossed for Birds of Prey to be a Best Picture nominated film. It's probably not going to happen, but wouldn't that be fun? I think so. I think so. Anyway, I think I'm going to head to bed. Well, edit this, then head to bed. But maybe I'll see you tomorrow for more Peer Hangout.